All right, y'all. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. This is how we do it every week, y'all. Today we got a special show for a fallen soldier. Man, this is a hard one right here, folks. This is a hard one right here. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. We're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. This is how we do it every Tuesday, y'all, right here, me and Dusty. Today, we got a special show, a memorial show for a good brother, a real good brother. Dusty Vision, what's up with you, Doc? There you go. What's up with you, Dusty One?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
You know what,
today,
man?
Lon?
I'm pretty good, man, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, brother?
I can't complain. Just sometimes, man, just, you know, you got to show love for those who show love to you. And this is one of those days when we got to show love to a good brother named Laylaw. If y'all didn't know who Laylaw was a writer, producer, just a good brother overall. He worked a lot with Ruthless, N.W.A, Above the Law. Just a good dude, man. He was a good dude. And, you know, I hate taking credit, but damn it, I got to tell the truth. I brought Laylaw into the family. I just happened to meet him at McCullough Records one day. And there's an article I read it the other day. I should have copied it. And he says the same thing. I ran into Lonzo. He was making records. He brought me to the studio, and he never left. He came by here. He was at McCullough. He was looking for a studio to record his music in. He had a label called Rolex Records. Laylaw loved expensive shit. He loved expensive shit. That was his thing. And his label was called Rolex Records. He came to the pad, looking to book studio time, met Dre, met Yella, Cube, Easy. And everybody was hanging at my house at the time. And he just became a part of the everyday activities here at Lonzo Land. That's what the studio was called back then, Lonzo Land Studios. And, you know, he credited, not the last time I spoke to him, but we had a conversation before he got sick. And he was saying how he so appreciated me taking him on the road with me. And I forgot all about it. We did a show in San Diego, and Laylaw he drove his car down to San Diego, hung out with us backstage the whole 9 yards. He had never experienced that before. And he credits me with giving him that experience. And again, I forgot all about it. But sometimes what's nothing to you is major to somebody else. And he just reminded me of that. In fact, I just talked to Laylaw. Called me right before Christmas. I think it was the last weekend before Christmas. He called me from the hospital. And he saw us out there walking. Lonzo, hey, man, I'm going to come out and walk with you, man, blah, blah, blah. I got to go through this last bit of treatment. I'm dealing with this shit again, and whoop, whoop, whoop. And as you can tell by this show, he didn't make it. But nonetheless, every time I call, he always called. He never got too big to take a brother's phone call. He never was too busy to take a phone call. If he couldn't talk to you, Lonzo, I'll call you right back. And we've been trying to do a show together for God knows how long. I was trying to do a show with him before he went in the hospital because he was dealing with cancer. And when he was dealing with the cancer, he said, when I got out of the hospital, I wanted to get a little rest and come on the show, man, because you put me up on game. And I'm like, no problem, Doc, anytime, come on through. And our schedules never did quite match up, folks. And that's why sometimes I tell people, man, forget that shit. Do what you got to do when you can do it. Because if you don't, you may never have another chance to do it. I'm just glad I had a chance to speak to the brother last year as he was going through his thing. Dusty.
All right, Laylaw. And just so everyone knows, we are going to have a couple of special phone-in calls tonight of some guests who have some special stories to share about Laylaw. We're going to have our friend Dyer Lansky calling in around 6:15, and we're going to have DJ King Assassin calling in around 6:30. But that's another one, Lonzo, that I didn't even know that came through Lonzo Land, man. I mean, the house party that was, and I say house party being the movie because you had Tisha Campbell, Martin, Kid and Play, but that was your home at
my house,
man, just in 80s and 90s.
That was my house.
Hip hop, right?
Yeah, but I was a house party of hip hop, dude. Like I said, I bought this house when I was 28 years old. I wasn't married. My daughter lived with her mom at the time. There's no kids running around here. I had this big old house, studio, kitchen, everything, jacuzzis and the whole 9 yards. So it was just a place to be because, we were just having a good time. I was glad to have it pay the house note. Nobody else had a house this big. Wasn't no millionaires back then. I was the baller. I was the man at the time. And everything that took place in early hip hop pretty much took place here in my studio where I'm sitting at right now, and sometimes I wonder, am I complacent or just consistent? I've been here 30 some odd years, man. I tell these stories all the time, and sometimes I have to check myself to see, am I being consistent or just complacent? I've been here, like I said,
Consistent. I'm going consistent. Knowing you, you're being consistent. It would be smart for you to save your home and stay where you are. It doesn't make sense to go anywhere. This is your castle. You built it. You're doing everything that you were doing 20 years ago.
I don't have to go nowhere. And my house is located literally right by the freeway. I mean, I'm about 105, 110, North 95. 91, 405, 10. I could be in any freeway, in any one of 5 freeways in less than a minute, sometimes less than 10, depending on which, less than 10 minutes to the 10 freeway. So it's just, it's a central location. The weather in where I live at is not bad. And people always say, "Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna move out." And I'm like, "What, we going to the desert?" I ain't going to the desert.
Right? I ain't trying to go to Lancaster and then like that. Nah.
Lancaster's cool for some people. It ain't cool for me. I've been used to it.
Not for me.
I've been used to living like this, living in this area for God knows how long, and it is what it is. So I'm gonna take Dusty's suggestion and just chalk it up to consistency as opposed to complacency, because it is what it is.
Yeah, there's nothing complacent about you, dog. Knowing you as long as I've known you, there ain't a damn thing complacent about you, and that's you're a good, consistent person, man. So
yeah, I'm probably one of the most consistent cats in hip hop. That's real shit. Because people who have been in my studio, man, you still up? Yep, still there. Okay. So it is what it is, folks. Today we celebrating the life of Laylaw, man. Songwriter, wrote for Miss Chalet. He wrote California Love. Okay.
So he did the remix to California Love, right?
Yeah.
I think that's his credit, but he didn't get credited on the album apparently.
Right. He got his money. He had to sue to get his money. We got his money. Money B in the house. What's up, Money B?
What up, Doe?
How you
How
feeling?
you doing?
Oh man, we doing all right for some brothers above dirt. Where it don't hurt. We're talking about our boy Laylaw, man.
What?
Yeah, you able to stop in. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man. What's going on?
Man, we're just talking about Laylaw, man. Laylaw was one of them unique brothers, man, that, he made records, but he liked playing the background. That was always his forte. He liked playing the background. And
as I always say, he looked like a shadow.
See? There goes some shit right there, see?
Yeah, that was my guy.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And I'll say this, a lot of people, because Law, he was always himself, right?
Always.
So if you didn't know him, he used to rub people the wrong way sometimes. I'd be like, hey, because he'll cuss you out in a minute.
Yeah. He didn't take no shit. He was not for taking no shit.
Right.
And, but he always was cool around here. If somebody pissed him off, I could always put him to the sidelines. So, you know what, man, I respect you, big dog, for blah, 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 blah. But that nigga right there, man, woo, 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 woo. Okay, Law, no problem, man. Just don't do it around here. I got you. No, what did he say? Casual. It's casual. It's casual.
It's casual.
It's casual. That's the word. That was his word. It's casual. Okay. And him and Easy hooked up. They had a special relationship. We ain't gonna talk about it on this podcast, but if you know Easy, and if you know Easy, you got an idea what I'm talking about. Anyway,
absolutely.
Anyway, talk to me, Money B.
Any good stories about Laylaw, my man? And thank you so much, Money B, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. One of the stories that I always remember about Law is around the time when we first really started hanging out together real tough. And it was probably right around 89, 90 when we were first starting to really come up, and we had a show in L.A. And of course, you know, Atron, he used to road manage for Ruthless, and Easy and JJ Fad and all of them. So we knew those guys. So we knew each other, but we had a show in LA, and Law was there, and he was on the side of the stage. And we used to do these when we used to do this song called Sex Packets. We had these blow up dolls, and while Shock G was singing Sex Packets, me and Tupac could be on the side, and we'd be, you know, doing like, you know, doing what we do to these dolls, right?
Right, Humpty Hump.
And so we on there doing it, and Law was on the side. He's like, "Dig her out, man! Dig her out! Dig her out, homie!" And he was just clowning. And I just remember I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't even do the show because he was just over there just hooraying. I was like, man,
yeah, he was that kind of dude, man.
heck yeah.
He loved his what do you say? He drank Courvoisier. I think it was Courvoisier.
Yeah, he used to drink brown.
Right, yeah, he
back
drank
in the day.
Yeah,
but you know,
go ahead.
But later on, we was drinking, you know, we was drinking vodka and Patron and tequila and shit.
He liked his high end. He liked his high end shit. Period. Liquor, whatever the case. He didn't mind spending no money on his beverages. Okay.
What's amazing is I know Law was working on, you know, he finished his book.
Okay.
So he's working on his book, and he was working on the audio book.
Okay.
Shout out Atron.
And
what up, Atron?
What up, Atron?
Big A.
So I know the book was finished, and he was working on the audio book, and also I had connected him with a guy that was doing like some animation for like shorts for the audio, you know, audio clips that he was narrating about his life and certain things that happened. And you know, excuse me, I reached out to Go. Well, I'm going to reach out to Go, but I also told Dyer, who I think Dyer's going to come on the show later, but he was working with Law to do the audiobook and everything. And I just offered to finish the narration of the audiobook if they wanted me to, because I know it was something that he really, really wanted to get done.
Right. When he didn't want to do his book, he called me to refer him to my ghostwriter for my book. And he said she couldn't time down long enough to finish. I don't know if they ever finished it. They spoke. They had a good conversation. They started, and I don't know if they ever finished. I got to call him. I don't think I got to call him and let him know that he passed. He probably don't know. In the meantime, Atron just stepped in. What's up, Mr. Gregory?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing all right, Doc. We're glad to have you in the house.
Thank you, man. Everyone's camera looks so good, and I've never really set mine up. I just turn it on my computer. You guys all look like you have like a separate camera, so that you're not doing it through your computer anymore.
Yeah.
You know it. You see my mic, nigga?
Yes, I guess I have to step up my game a little bit.
I'm podcasting over here.
Upgrade.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Professionally.
It's a word we got to use there. Upgrade. Okay.
Upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah, down there 170 BP, 170. Anyway, what's up with you, Doc?
Hey, man.
Doing like that.
Man,
Thank you, man.
Glad you stopped doing that. Talk to me.
Right.
I gotta give you a hard time. That's my boy. Man, talk to me about Laylaw, Doc.
Man, it's tough because Munn called me with the news, and I was sharing with him. I just texted him a week before, and he hadn't reached out. And Laylaw always responds, always, and it's either right away, by text, or by a phone call within the hour. And we were in Laylaw ran a fantasy football league that we were all in together, and we had a lot of fun. But I was reaching out to him about the fantasy league, and he didn't hit me back. But Laylaw, we go back to the old Ruthless days, and I don't remember him in the World Class Wrecking Crew days, but into the Ruthless days, we did the N.W.A tour together. I was technically ATL's road manager. I think I did a couple shows with him, and we just always stayed close. He produced some stuff for Pac. Would come to the house and play me some tracks. And
we got a The tank is
His VHS machine messed up.
It's all right. We got it. Your mouse back.
Lost me?
Yeah, you stopped. You got mid stroke there, and
that's what she said.
Hey.
You said he tracked for Tupac.
Yeah, he did tracks for Tupac. A lot of people don't know he had a lot to do with California Love as well.
Yeah, he produced the original version of California Love, is what I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he was just a good brother, man. He was just stand-up brother. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I got a story about that. So, Law produced the title track for Strictly for My Niggas, and he did some other. I forget what other tracks he did, but I know that one's the one that made the album. But the night that they recorded that music was the night of the Rodney King riots. So right after they recorded, they went out. They went right down there. Him and Pop and somebody else.
I think it was Dazzy D or Big Sax. You told the story on my show.
Well, there was always an argument between Jinx and Laylaw about who went with him. Who went with Pop down there?
Because I've heard a couple of different people. I'd have to go back because I had Law on my podcast a few times, and I have some other. He came to the house and did some stuff for me. I have to go back and listen to it and remember what he said. But he told the story about who exactly
it was
went
Dazzy
down.
D, and Pac took some expensive tide to Dazzy's mom, and Dazzy was very excited about that. That might be Dyer right there.
Somebody calling in. Hello, who we got on the line?
How's it going, y'all? Dyer Lansky.
What's up, Dyer Lansky?
What up?
What's up with your money?
Dyer would know. Ask Dyer. He know the story.
He talking about the night when Laylaw and Tupac went to the riot or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was they were in the studio earlier that day and they did that song for Strictly, and then they hopped in the car, went met up with B-Real, hit the city. That was on the day of the riot.
Wow, that's wild. But I can see him doing that.
That's crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And, the funny part
in the show, Dyer.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. First off, thank you for recognizing my guy Laylaw, man. I mean, my dude, was so. I always say he's important to hip hop. I know he was incredibly important, to West Coast hip hop, and we say that because we have such pride for our coast. But just music in general, he gave his life to it. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate you guys doing something for him.
Man, you know what? I owe Laylaw this, dude, because when I wrote my book, Laylaw was the only person I forgot, man. I felt so fucking bad when I finished my book and it was out. And Laylaw, big lines. I ain't your boy no more. Dude. Oh man, I felt like shit. Okay, because Laylaw should have been right there above the law, between the Ruthless days. Okay, when I met him at McCullough, man, he came to the pad and fell into the mix. I said that earlier. He came to the pad, fell into the mix, and he kept on growing. He did his thing all the way to the top. And I felt so bad when I did not acknowledge him in my two people. I pissed off quick. Oh, quick jam me up, and Laylaw jammed me up. I'm like, damn, I ain't doing that no more. It wasn't hard. It just my mind just forgot about certain shit, man. So I got to do this for him, dude. Just on the strength that, like I said, I brought him into the game. He was always a smooth brother, as he say. It's casual. He was always casual, and
casual.
It's casual. That's his word. And I just had to show him some love, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: you are in his book.
Okay, thank you. Oh shit. I haven't seen this book yet, but yeah, I'm good to hear.
So he actually wrote the book.
So, any good stories, Dyer? Any good Laylaw stories?
There's a bunch. I will say though, one thing that one thing that I know with Law that I appreciated, and this was being in the studio with him, is he's always in the background, right, when you're doing something. I can attribute this when Hutch and I were doing the Black Godfather double dip. And it almost seems like he's not paying attention or kind of doing his own thing or rolling a blunt or whatever he was doing, right? And then he'll just walk up to you and be like, do this to that, do this to that, do this to that. And he'll go sit back down. And then you do it and you're like, oh shit, okay. Like, that's dope. Okay. But it's so he's like multitasking without looking like he's tasking at all. You know what I mean? But he just has that presence where he just kind of can take it all in and be him. You know what I mean? And you know, one thing I always preach about Law too is he's not going to sugarcoat shit. No. You know what I mean? He's going to tell you exactly how he feels, and you may not like it. You know what I mean? But he has his reason. So you know, I just always appreciated him being 100. And you know, growing up the way I did, you know, I'm a white dude that was trying to rap through the early 90s and this and that. And, you know, the Law House Experience album really changed my life because one of my favorite artists is Razzcast. When Razzcast and Exhibit did Archangels and stuff like that.
Yeah, they opened that album, I think.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, like this is like me, right? And then years later, I did an album called Back to the Future that was actually distributed through Law House. And man, I thought I made it, homie. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I got an album out by was the Law House? Like, no way. It was me and Hutch's album, and you know, it was just it's amazing when you meet the people that you look up to, and great things happen. And I can say that to Money B as well. You know, I met Money B through Laylaw and Hutch. Around that same time, he was on the road with Scarface, and we were doing the posse cut for Hutch's album. And me and Munn started going back through that because I was engineering everything, mixing everything, getting everything, you know, put together. And it really, you know, it changed my trajectory for sure. You know what I'm saying? I just, and they all, you know, Gomac, Laylaw. I don't know if you guys have ever met D-Mac before. But, you know, they just all took me in it as family. And I you know, it's just something that I could never repay. You know what I'm saying? I just could never, ever repay. And that's why we were doing, you know, so when it came down this last 2 years, you know, I was doing anything that was being done, the websites, the graphics, the mixing. It was just Laylaw and I putting our heads together and getting it done. And, you know, he's had the book done for a little bit, and towards the end, we were getting the audio part done with his voice, and unfortunately, we didn't get to finish it. But you know, I'm definitely gonna sit down with Gomac and the family, and we're definitely gonna get this stuff out. You know, he really wanted it done before this happened, obviously, but you know, sometimes it's not our call.
Right.
Yeah.
Love, man. Oh man.
Thank you, Dyer. Thank you. Feel free to hang out for a little bit, man. Let's go around the horn. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laylaw brought me Above the Law before they had to deal with Ruthless, and I'm hoping he show up today so I can cuss his ass out. Unknown talked me out of Above the Law. Okay. Check it out. Laylaw he wanted me to fuck with Above the Law. And Unknown had just got CMW, and he talked me out of the shit. It's another gangster rap group, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't, you know, I thought they was dope, but for whatever reason, I let Unknown influence me and talk my ass out of Above the Law, and the rest is history. So, that's one of Lonzo's stories, okay? That's just some real shit. Okay? So
Did you have a studio in Santa Monica back in the day?
Nah, my studio's always been in my house. Always.
Because there's something in the book, and him, Hutch, and I want to say Gomac when they met up to you somewhere, but there's so many.
I met Laylaw on Santa Monica Boulevard at Macola. That's where we connected.
Okay,
when he first started his first company, Rolex Records, I was up there doing something at Macola. He was up there doing some stuff with his label, and he needed a studio. He came by the pad. He followed me home that day. Like a good puppy, he never left. Shit.
No, it's funny. The Rolex records, I used to always tease Law about that Monster Jam record he made.
Okay. Me and Laylaw connected because at that time Morris Day had just released his first solo album, and the solo album was called Color of Success, and we both liked that album a lot. In fact, Laylaw had did a track on Rolex Records that was so close to Morris Day shit. When I heard Morris Day shit on the radio, I thought it was Laylaw. Okay, I called Law. Hey man, oh yeah, no, Lonzo, that ain't me. That's the real deal. Like what? And it was of course Morris Day. But yeah, it's just that was one of the few things. That was one of the things that he and I really jailed on was when it came to Morris Day. We both liked his style and his music. So yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You know, another person that I met through Laylaw that I was just so blessed to work with was N.W.A.
Oh yeah, man.
And you know, he was over at this time. He was at Too Short's compound, you know, downtown, and he took me in and he was like, "This is Dyer. He knows what to do. Y'all would make a perfect, you know, y'all be perfect together." And they all went out and you know, was talking to Short, and I think Slink Johnson was there too on this particular day. And N.W.A. kind of quizzed me up on what I knew, you know, as far as equipment and this and that. I showed him a couple YouTube videos of me, and we worked together for, you know, talked almost every day and everything, you know, before he passed. But that was another one to me that was just like, yo, this freaking meeting him and meeting Stan the Guitar Man through Laylaw to do music with was another couple just absolute bucket list for me for sure.
Dig this right here. This another one of Lonzo crazy ass stories. I ran into Too Short. When somebody represented Too Short, he invited me down to his podcast down there in LA. He got him a nice like a warehouse situation, pool table, a whole night, girls everywhere. As I'm pulling up, the ambulance is pulling off. I walk into the studio, and I'm here for Too Short, blah, blah, blah. But everybody was like real fucked up, like, what's going on? What the fuck happened? And one of the girls said N.W.A. just had a stroke. That was it was shit. I'm sorry. It was N.W.A. invited me down. That's what it was. I saw N.W.A. someplace. He invited me down to the studio to meet with Too Short, because I didn't really know Too Short. Too Short knew who I was, but I never really sat down and talked to him. And as I was pulling up, ambulance was pulling off, I figured somebody smoked too much weed or something. And they told me that the ambulance was taking N.W.A. to the hospital, and he had a stroke. And me and Too Short did the podcast that day. And everybody you talking about, man, Stan the Guitar Man, dude, we go back so far. Me, N.W.A. and Stan the Guitar Man all come from the same neighborhood. Okay. N.W.A. sold me my first vocoder because the dude sold it to him, thought it was an equalizer. Okay. He paid like $5 for the damn thing. He said, "Don't work. I can't make it do it. It's been making some funny ass noise." The homeboy thought it was an equalizer. Okay. Dre sold it to me for like $200, and that's how you got juice and surgery and shit, because we got a vocoder from N.W.A.
Damn.
Wow.
That's dope. Hey, Lonzo, we might have to bring Unknown on, because he's in the comments saying he didn't talk you out of.
He's full of shit. Like Christmas turkey.
Tell Unknown to call in.
We might have to have Unknown call in.
He always wants to hide in the comments.
You always want to hide in the comments, okay? Bullshit. Right? That's some straight bullshit. You know damn well you talk me out of Compton's Most Wanted. You sabotage my shit. You want to make room for CMW. I ain't mad at you, but goddamn, there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody. That's no shit. First time I heard Stan the Guitar Man was a regular on everybody's shit. He was a part of Torture. Yeah. He was one of the baddest cats around. In fact, his brother, he had a brother that was a bass player that was pretty tough. Brother moved on. In fact, it's a real hip hop history. People think I be lying. I tell y'all, this is honest God truth. Stan the Guitar Man, lived on Town Street in LA, now around the corner from me after dark, technically, between 135th and 132nd Street. And every Saturday, every Saturday, my dad and I would stand the guitar man grass. Okay, it's no bullshit. I remember when Stan and his brother got their first guitars. Okay, they was in the garage trying to figure out how to tune a goddamn guitar up. It's no bullshit. Okay, this is no bullshit.
Have you ever had him on your podcast?
Yeah. I'll bring him back.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring him back. Yeah, me and Stan we go back to not to what 12, 13 years old. Okay, and L.A. Dre lived right down the street, around the corner or something. I never knew a Dre lived there, but I knew he lived in the neighborhood. He was a regular at Eve After Dark. Real talk.
No, Stan hooked me up with one of my long-term clients about 10 years ago.
Who's that?
Who?
Johnny Guitar Watson.
Wow.
Estate people.
Nice.
Stan's the one who hooked me up with them. It's been at least 10 years, maybe 12 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll bring
Stan connected with him.
bring Stan back. I got to call Stan up, get him back on the show. We got to update our shit. That's right.
That's most
You said Town Street. You said Town Street. That's right after McKinley, like coming from Central, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What you know about that, man?
Hey, he's a down the pipe boy. I think I know, man.
Town is right off of Avalon. My bad. It was between San Pedro and Avalon, between 135th, 132nd. Okay. Yep. And speaking of lying, motherfuckers, this nigga, I know, just walked in the studio.
Unknown.
He walked in.
Get him on camera. Get him on camera. Yeah, right.
He ain't gonna come on camera. He be a toy everything with a lens out of here if I put his ass on camera. He be everything with a lens out here. I'm gonna plug his ass up if nothing else. I'm gonna try and plug him up.
Yeah, go to plug him up, man. I can keep it going while you do that, actually.
All right, I'll be right back, folks.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have Money B in the building.
Lost.
I hit the wrong person. I'm supposed to hide me.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, thank you all for joining us, man. Definitely appreciate it. Money B, can you tell everybody where they can find you? I know you're still doing your podcast thing, and you and I actually we did our shows together way back in the day at T Radio V, man.
T Radio V. I was just talking about that today.
The Going Way Back show, man. Yeah, I was there. I was the Dusty and Heidi show. It was me and my homegirl Heidi. But yeah, good times, man. But tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
You can find me at MoneyB69 on Instagram and Twitter, and then we have the Digital Underground Facebook fan page, the Digital Underground fan page on Facebook. Get ready to launch. Well, I have my Twitch channel, but I'm really about to go heavy on Twitch, and that's at MoneyB69 as well. But really, anything that I'm doing, tap in with me at MoneyB69 on Instagram, and usually I share all the information about everything else from there.
I love it.
But
yeah, I do remember.
when I went real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I want everybody to look out because I am starting a new podcast with a couple of cats, and it's called With the Fellas. It's 3 of us, and the focus of the podcast is on entertainment, Web3, and community. So each of us kind of bring that. So it's Web3 and tech, plus the entertainment aspect with the community aspect of everything. So it's a well-rounded little group we got, and we're just going to kind of kick it out there. But it's called With the Fellas, and we hope to launch it officially, by next month.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing what you have to bring to the table, man, because I love your content, dude. And you have an interview with Laylaw going back to the T Radio V thing. I know you guys have.
I got like 8 interviews with Laylaw.
Yeah, make sure you check them out. I'm telling everybody, if you want to know about Laylaw, there's no better podcast to hit on YouTube. Just type in Going Way Back Show or Money B and Laylaw, and you'll find it. It's very very entertaining. Lonzo is the unknown.
I got his lying ass over here. He goes trying to refute the truth. Okay, he's another one trying to rewrite the goddamn truth. Goddamn it! No, go ahead.
All right. So once again, generally, I like my man say, I like to play the bat because Lonzo is pretty much he's the defender of the, how they have the Marvel universe, we have the Compton universe. So Lonzo is kind of like Thor defending it, but every now and then he try to throw some mess in the game. Okay, I don't know what he talking about with Above the Law. I never knew Hutchnip. I never knew him. The first time I ever saw those guys was at Donovan's studio hanging out with Dre, and I was like, man, this music is fire. So as far as Laylaw, I know Laylaw had him, and like Lonzo didn't want to be involved with that kind of music to begin with back then. He didn't want that. He didn't heard Lonzo say on his podcast, like, he's a lover, not a fighter. He didn't want to be out here swinging and chopping. And Above the Law, they was real. So I don't know. Once you get Lonzo's age, things get a little muddled. You get a little confused about stuff, about the two. Adrian just sitting up there like, hey, you should be nodding your head, right?
Wait. Hold on.
Time for this one to come home.
This thing gonna be lying there. He didn't hear the goddamn Above the Law was not here. Laylaw just brought the cassette to the pad. We in the living room listening to the shit. This shit was dope then, okay? He had just got a deal with CMW. I think he just got him. We had just cut the deal with CMW, and I got the impression he didn't want no extra gangster pressure at that time, okay?
Lies.
Laylaw was gonna do the deal. Cause I think we had West Coast or something like that, man. If I ain't mistaken, Laylaw wanted to bring him to West Coast. And cause that's why he brought. Cause if you had CMW, we definitely.
No, man. Are you thinking about Penthouse?
No, I'm thinking about Laylaw and Above the Law. Okay, ask Hutch. If I ain't mistaken, Hutch remembers this story as well.
Cause Penthouse
came after West Coast, didn't they?
No, okay.
Unknown. Wasn't that after West Coast?
Yeah, definitely. That was after West Coast. But Penthouse players, we had like Player Ham. He might be confused.
Penthouse came to West Coast.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. When you get Lonzo's age, these things kind of start blending. You might like the secret. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect. Hip hop is 50 years old, and Lonzo, Lonzo kind of pretty much brought in disco and shit. So it's a.
Wait, can I tell my unknown story?
Oh, go
Hell
ahead,
no. Hell no.
Hold on. Shut his ass up. Go ahead, Money B. Go ahead.
Nah, it ain't bad. So back when we first came out and we started coming to LA, I was some of the first people I met was like Sin Dog and Be Real Cypress Hill, but I was real close with Rose from Body and Soul, right? So I remember one time I was talking to Rose and she's like, yo, come on, meet me over here at Unknown Crib. I never saw you. You never came out, right? But I was at your house.
That must be my house.
Upstairs. Or whoever's house it was. All I know is I was over there and I was like, what's happening? I was like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, he's down there recording this group, CMW, Compton's Most Wanted. I was like, word? And I was kind of listening a little bit. I could hear a little bit, but nobody came up. But I was over there. And then when I left, a little while later, I started hearing more about Compton's Most Wanted. I was like, oh,
that was Lonzo's crib. That had to be
because
Rose was living here then, probably.
Yeah, Unknown had a studio here too, though. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, Rose had me in somebody's house.
Yeah, in my house.
They was recording.
There you go. See, we got it straightened out. See, shit. In a way, Unknown got a point because some of this shit get past my ass. I be forgetting some of this shit.
Yeah, I ain't gonna admit it.
Ain't got nothing to do no Alzheimer's. Goddamn, it's been 45 fucking years. Okay.
So hip hop is 50 years old. We started before hip hop. That's sad, bro.
We were fucking with the Bee Gees and shit. So and Anita Ward, Adrian, don't laugh like he wasn't.
Hey,
ring my bell.
We had Cowboy and Laylaw too. Damn it, Laylaw ain't young. Laylaw.
Does anybody know how old Laylaw was though? Actually,
50. He was born in 64.
Okay,
so 14 years older than me, so he would be 58, 59.
Yeah,
58, 59.
Yeah.
Laylaw's part of the old guard. He just had kind of like he had a younger face than what he was, right? People thought like he was a big dude, but people thought he was younger than what he was along the way. But he part of the old guard.
You know? Yeah, he is.
He used to have dreads too. Laylaw used to have dreads.
I remember that.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I remember he had his little dreads.
Vaguely,
I remember that.
Wow, folks.
You know, I heard somebody say about Bud the Law, like, you know, he's like, Bud the Law was real. I had it during COVID. I was doing a podcast to like Instagram and some Zoom calls, and we have a facility out in Pasadena that we all started together long ago, my homie Macca. And so I was doing a Zoom call with Chris the Glove for an interview, but I was with Laylaw, Gomack, and JD from the Lynch Mob. This is like a year and a half ago. And Chris was like, so you mean to tell me if I would have came up there today, I'd be sitting with Ruthless and the Lynch Mob? And I'm like, and you know, he can see them all. And he was like, see, I knew there was a reason I didn't come up here. He was like, if you'd have told me back in the day, he was like, if you would have told me that back in the day, I probably would have left town, like, you know, messing around. But you know, the stories you hear about, you know, how real it really was back then is a whole book in itself.
Yes, it was, folks. Yes, it was.
I have a question because Above the Law worked on this song. Money B and Digital Underground was on this song. And Adrian, I'm curious if you know anything about this song and would like to share a story. But Money B, can you tell us about a little bit about the West Coast Rap All Stars, which I wish someone would do this again. Just put all the West Coast rappers together and just do something positive. The Self-Destruction was another one, but you were involved in that as well as Above the Law. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, and feel free to piggyback off at Adrian if you were around that time as well.
I probably rather Adrian started off and then let me piggyback off of it.
Okay, cool.
Well, see, I have a special moment.
I wouldn't want to say nothing that's untrue about what I know.
So I have a special moment on that record. I can't remember what I said, but I was in the studio multiple times during the recording of the record because, you know, Dre was bringing, you know, people in and out of the studio, you know, not just Digital Underground. And I was in the studio one time and Dre's like, well, you need to get on the record and say something. So I don't remember what I said, but if you go back to the record and there are some words spoken, like 2 or 3 words towards the end of the record, that's actually me on the record. It's probably the only record I'm ever on. But you know, Dre, if you're in the studio with Dre, he'll put you on the mic. Technically that's how easy he got on the mic, because you know he wasn't in there rapping. That's when Dre and Q said you need to get on the mic. But you know, Dre put me on to say 3 words. I got to go back, and if you go back and listen to the words, if you go back and listen to the record, whoever says like 2 or 3 words in there, that's me. And I don't even remember what the words were.
Talking about some shit.
I wasn't actually in the studio when they recorded our part, but this is what Shock told me. So in the record, you know, when our part comes in America, Get Busy Humpty, it breaks down into like the Humpty part, and Dre wanted Shock to play the Humpty bass line, and he said while he's playing it, Dre was looking over his shoulder trying to see how he's playing the bass line. He's like, you go ahead and play it. And Shock said he's like,
you know what?
Yeah, Shock. You know, Dre, like back during the Death Row Interscope days, and when Tupac was still on TNT, Dre really wanted Shock to work with him. But I could never figure out why Shock wouldn't work with Dre. He felt like Dre had everything. What did he need him for? That was Shock's answer to me. But I really thought, you know, if they ever collaborated together, Shock and Dre, that would have been a huge collaboration. You know, just as 2 producers who had a lot of the same thought process, a lot of the same fans of the same type of music. They would have done good collaboration together, but it just never happened. I wish it would have.
I think because they were so much alike that it was, you know, it's one of them things like if somebody, like you said, their thought process and the way that and where their musical background comes almost directly from the same place.
Like,
that it was like, oh, he's already doing that. I'm gonna do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and both of them were really meticulous about their music, their mixes, their sounds. Both of them were super meticulous about that. That's why I think. I bet it might have been too much alike. You're right.
And some of that rubbed off on me, right? Because Shock was sitting there 2 hours on a snare on the hi-hats, making them right.
The same goddamn way he make you want to kick his ass. Man, get out that goddamn. Unknown the same. Everybody ever record with Unknown. This motherfucker take too goddamn long to tune that goddamn shit. This nigga will be on the hi-hat for 30, 45 minutes trying to get the right. God damn. It's a hi-hat. Nobody give a fuck.
That's probably where Dre got that shit from, to keep it a buck.
Probably.
What did they say though? They said the best in the studio. And this is what they used to say when I was at Record One. They would say, perfection is never perfect. You know what I mean? So, 30, 36 minutes to do it. It's never perfect, but it's perfection. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Because of Shock and Dyer, I'm hard on producers. Because I know what it's supposed to be. Like, you can't be lazy around me because I've seen it done the right way. You know what I mean?
What you gonna say?
Hey, that's another thing. Hey, Laylaw used to fire me at least 3 times a week. You know what I mean? You're fired. Like at least 3 times a week I'm fired, but I'm still there. Okay, you're hired again. Then that'd be at 2:00, and then it'd be 6:30 at night. Oh, Dyer, you're fired. Like then so yeah.
I know what you about to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh man, I was gonna say yeah, because making it. You know what? Sitting up there concentrating on the board and I mean. It's so much different than what it used to be, because our biggest thing back then was to be clean, because we was trying to get noise out of the mixes, and that doesn't always work. I remember I tell Lonzo all the time, the dirtiest, filthiest, worst mix record I ever heard in my life was Roxanne. And I said, man, that's trash. Ain't nobody ever gonna play that, right? And look, like 86 billion copies later. So
that was jamming.
Always have to be clean.
And then people don't realize that Roxanne record, right? It was like 90 spinoffs of it. Roxanne's grandmother, Roxanne's auntie, Roxanne's niece, Roxanne's boyfriend, Roxanne's boyfriend's grandfather. Everybody had a revenge. That was
my first crush, by the way. She was my first crush. When I saw her, I was like,
I brought her to skate
land.
Man, the real.
Oh, you brought Roxanne? Really?
Real Roxanne to skate land. Yes. Okay. Me and Yellow pick him up. What?
Wait, the real Roxanne or the real
the real
go
one?
ahead. Go ahead, Lonzo.
The pretty one?
The pretty one. Okay.
My name is Roxanne. Don't you know? I just
talking about
do this show.
You talking about what's his name, the producer? Howie T's Roxanne.
Was it Howie T or 4/4?
It was Howie T.
Okay, you're right. Howie T.
Hitman Howie T. Because he produced the real Roxanne. He produced the original 4/4 stuff, and then they produced under him. Okay. But he also did special ed. So that was his whole little camp. And really, Howie T, he did Chubb Rock as well.
Now, at one point in time, I had a direct connect to New York, and I did Skateland. I started brought in Salt and Pepper, Real Roxanne, and somebody else we brought in there. But me and Yella went to pick him up from the hotel on Hollywood Boulevard, and they had been there for a couple of days. Didn't tell us they was in town. And Yella, first thing he noticed was, man, how come only one bed messed up? I don't know, Yella. Ain't none of my goddamn business, because nobody was there, their manager. And they came to the club. And Yella back then, he was trying to knock down everything moving. He couldn't get no kind of headway. And he made some conclusions that I ain't gonna talk about on this podcast, but it was a very interesting situation. It was very interesting. I'm gonna say leave it
Why you bring it up if you ain't gonna talk about it?
Well, he's already said enough. You just got to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah,
it's probably in Yella's book, because Yella doesn't hold back nothing.
You said Hitman Howie T was with her?
Howie T came with it. Yeah, was it Howie T? Was it Howie T? Man, come on, dude, you stretching the shit out of my brain now. It had to be the Howie T. I know Herbie Lovebug came with one of them. Okay, Herbie Love Bug came. He came with salt and pepper. Okay, that was a skate. Okay? Yeah, Herbie Love Bug is that at one point in time, Howie Love Bug was Dre. Herbie Love Bug was Dre's idol. I mean, he was the guy Dre wanted to beat. He wanted to be Herbie Love Bug. You know, because Herbie Love at one point Herbie had everybody rocking to his shit, and Dre had his targets, his eyes, his aim for Herbie. I guess he accomplished that after a while. It looked like, don't you think?
No, well, you know what? I get it because some of the those old mixtapes that Dre used to do. That was all right around the time when Dana Dane and Kid Play and all them was hitting. So his whole roster was rocking.
Yep. So yeah, it's been an interesting time.
You know what's still
go ahead.
You know what's still shocking? What's shocking to me, and we're talking about mixing and clarity. If you listen to DLC records, it came out 89.
Yeah.
The master to that album is
amazing.
Like, I mean, unbelievable. Like it is
perfection.
Unbelievable how clean that whole. I mean, it's just. I mean, it blows my mind that they were able to make a fucking sound like that. I mean, it really was like to this day can compare to any of these records right now as far as clarity.
Quick, Dr. Dre, anybody.
Oh,
yeah.
And it still blows my mind what they were able to accomplish with music back then.
Yeah, well, you know what?
The Donovan studio back then?
Hell no. That's John Payne, man. John Payne did that. John Payne that did all the whispers and everything on Solar. That was John Payne mixing. That was John Payne EQing. That was everything that Dick Griffey did. Like John Payne was the main engineer, and that's who was running class when the role, like, I mean, are we talking about? Wait a minute. First of all, are we talking about Ruthless and stuff?
Yeah, the first DLC record. That's the one. Well, the only DLC record.
Yeah, he only had one album. Well, I mean,
that would have been Dre Donovan. That would have been Dre Donovan and Yellow. I can't take that from him.
Yeah, that was a Donovan spot.
Did they do that at the? Did they do that at the Edge with Mark Palladino?
Nah, that was
Donovan.
That was Audio Achievements.
That was Audio Achievements.
We had gave him so much business. He had just bought that Trident board. Okay, he had just got. When we first went to Donovan's studio, he had 3 8-track mixers in there. All you could do was cut. You had to mix at Larrabee's. We always mixed our shit at Larrabee. And then we gave, between me and Eric, gave him enough money. In fact, I gave him enough money to buy him a goddamn Trident board. That's no bullshit.
Yeah, that's that Dirt Biker and Donovan the Dirt Biker and Dre and Yellow. That's that. Yep. What you hear on there came out of there. So yeah, Dre killed it on that one. You're right about that.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mark Clientele and Bernie Grubman mastering that shit, because Bernie Grubman, he left. Well, actually, Brian was the man. We like
Big
Brian.
Bass, Big Bass.
Brian, most love to Big Bass Brian. He was our man as far as mastering, because Bernie was only fucking with majors at that point. If it was any independent shit,
yeah, he was doing Michael Jackson and Prince and
Streisand
and Whitney and all of them. That's what Bernie was doing.
Didn't he do Run DMC as well?
Don't know.
I would have thought. No, you know what? I would have. That's a good one, because I would have thought. Because who was the other guy? It was Herbie Pump Powers that was doing all the East Coast stuff, right?
Not sure. Can't help you.
No, I'm sure it was Herbie. Yeah. His name was Herbie Powers. He was doing all. He was the guy that was like.
I remember that name.
Yeah, Herbie Pump Powers.
Can't help you. That's my shit. All right, folks, you're live with Lonzo, Adrian Gregory, Money B, Unknown in the house, Myron Straight, Dialansky on the phone, and Dusty on the mic. Boy, we got a hell of a show today, folks. We got
Adrian.
Love for Adrian. Yeah. Laylaw.
Can you clear something up for me? So, I always get asked about it, and I just did an interview about the whole interview was about the song "Call It What You Want," right? And so I always tell the story from my perspective of being there, and Shock was supposed to come, and they were waiting for Shock to get there, and I kept trying to get them to let Tupac rap on the song, and they was like, "Well, hold up." And I remember knowing that Shock wasn't coming, but in my mind, I remember either you or somebody telling me not to tell them Shock wasn't coming, but we knew he wasn't coming. So I was like leading them on, like maybe. But I was trying to get them to let Tupac rap on the song. Why didn't Shock come to that down to LA for that session, if you remember?
I don't remember.
Because I know the story being there.
I mean, I might know. You just got to give me more details so I can.
I mean, in my mind, I thought that Shock probably just wasn't tripping. You feel? You know how sometimes Shock could just be oblivious to the new things that are happening. But you know, like I said, by that time, Law was already my guy. I already knew the niggas, so I was down there, and I took Tupac to the studio with me. But they really didn't want Pac to be on that record at first. They wanted Shock to be on it because they wanted it to be a Digital Underground. They wanted to say featuring Digital Underground.
It was Shock. If you know, thinking back, I think it was exactly what you were saying. Shock didn't know them really like that.
You know, like he was just oblivious.
You knew him because you were there. I knew him because I was part of Ruthless, but he didn't really know him like that. So he probably was like, you know, I'll come if I can get down there, but I'm not in a hurry to run down.
Yeah, I just remember making all kind of excuses for why Shock wasn't coming, but I was like, yeah, but my man Tupac, he dope. And they was like, yeah, but let's wait. Then finally they let him get on the song.
Hey, and Laylaw said, because you know I've heard the story from all three of y'all, but Laylaw was like, man, Goldmack was so pissed off. He was like, it even took him like a while to even fucking like warm up to doing the video and everything. He was, he was like,
wait, say that again. You was breaking up.
No, it just Laylaw telling me the story, and he was like, when it actually happened, he was like, man, Go was the one that was like super heated. Like Hutch was kind of with it and this and that, and then Go was just like super pissed off.
Wow. Oh, that Shock didn't come down?
Yeah, at the time.
But I tell you this though.
Now I'm starting to remember. It was because they were my people. So Shock said he was going to do it, but didn't really want to come down and do it. That's what it was.
Yeah, he wasn't really tripping, but they was already my guys. So I was like, yeah. And I'm just trying to figure out.
He didn't really know them. That's what it was. He didn't really know them.
But why were we in LA and I was able to bring Tupac with me? Because I remember I went down there to do that, but for some reason I had Pac with me, and I just happened to bring him. It was like, yeah, let my guy do it.
I don't know.
And they was
maybe it's the same reason you brought him to Juice. You guys just rolled together sometime.
Yeah, I was like, let's do it. Probably, and if it was a studio, Tupac wanted to go anyway, so I was like, come with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they was fighting it for the longest. It's so funny.
Marlon Cozy, much love to you. Folks, you are live with Lonzo and a bunch of hip-hop friends, Money B, Adrian Gregory, Unknown DJ, off camera and on the microphone. We got
this is what a legend. This is what a pioneer like Laylaw deserves, Lonzo. I was so disappointed when I turned on the two hip-hop stations in Los Angeles the day that Laylaw passed, and not one of them played an Above the Law song. I didn't hear any mention of it, aside from maybe 93.5 did, but the other two hip-hop stations, no mention. But they did play Glorilla and Drake 17 times. They made sure to get
these kids weren't born when this was happening, man. You got these DJs and half of the program directors, they weren't really alive for this. You got to think about how much time has passed. You know, they literally, it's not disrespect. It's like, as Common said, it's not like they not messing, they dissing you. They just don't know, right? They just don't. They don't know about it.
It was 25, 30 years ago. And you know, and you got to remember, Laylaw wasn't really a self-promoter.
He wasn't in the he wasn't in the foreground.
Yeah, he
was always in the background.
Yeah,
Negro, I forgot him in my book. I love the dude. Okay, so he's one of them cats. He just liked being in the shadows. What you say, Money B? Because he thought he looked like a shadow or something like that.
I said because he was a shadow. He looked like a shadow.
He's that guy in all the N.W.A. pictures back. Like I got photos with Law in them, and I mean, if you knew who he was, you knew who he was, right? But most people that looking at that would be like, it's like Bimmy, like from the Supreme Team that was on stage with Run DMC. Nobody knew who the hell he was. But
okay, I'm gonna say it, Unknown. Big Boy is our age. DJ Cruz or whatever his name on Power, they're our age. They should know. They should have at least said something. Neither one of those people said anything about.
I was shocked Sway didn't. I was shocked Sway didn't say anything. Honestly, because they go back.
Another one.
Too.
No, I can't argue. I can't argue with you there. I can't. I'm not. I'm not going to make that case right there. I'm not going to argue.
Because when we did Hutch's album, Sway was one of the first ones. Like we went to New York to do the Sway in the Morning. He was like, hell, he was like, I'm gonna bump somebody and bring you guys on this week.
Wow.
And so, I was shocked even that. And I will say this too, though. I don't know if the radios are allowed to play Black Superman because it's owned by Ruthless and Easy, Easy's wife. Because that's not streaming. Like that album is not out at all.
It's a whole lot of stuff that's not streaming. It's funny you should. It's really funny. I wish Yella was on the line. I just asked Yella, or I was talking to Arabian. I was speaking to Arabian, and I was like, no, it was. I was talking to Yella, and then I asked Arabian. This was like 2 or 3 days ago. I said, man, all of the, they do these freestyle shows, and you see Quick and Second to None out there. I said, dude, like I know maybe Above the Law could put together, like there's people missing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's people missing, but I don't see them out there. But now that you're saying it, I don't know. Is it streaming? Is a lot of that stuff streaming?
No, the only thing streaming for Above the Law is Living Like Hustlers, Uncle Sam's Curse, and like a couple singles. But the Black Mafia Life album, you can only get it on YouTube if somebody uploads it themselves, or if you buy like a CD or a vinyl or something through eBay or any of these collectors. But it's like on purpose not streaming anywhere. That's got the song, obviously Black Superman, which is huge, and the song Munch talked about with Pac. I mean, that's a big record right there, not to be out streaming.
You think it might have something to do with publishing rights or sampling from back then?
I think it might, because look at De La Soul. It's finally coming out in March, and they've never had that streaming. And I know it has a lot to do with various rights from publishing to master to sample to, it wasn't in the original contracts, and this is a new format. I mean, it really depends on what all the contracts look like. So, and if whoever is handling Ruthless, if they don't feel like getting deep into it, it's just going to sit on. It's just not going to happen.
They don't.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
I just that's a big record.
We at the 1 hour mark. Dusty, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I mean, I'm chilling. If you want to keep going, if you want to call it a night, either way, I'll leave it up to you, boss.
Anybody want to share anything special right quick? We can keep on going. I'm good.
Any last words about Laylaw? I think we did him justice tonight, man. This was really nice. The energy was great, and I just want to once again thank everybody for joining us. Adrian Gregory, Money B, Dyer Lansky, and DJ Unknown. This was for a hip hop nerd like myself. This was a great show, and I think I know Laylaw is looking down at us, smiling right now.
Casual, y'all. I gotta say, I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys doing this. Mun, like your family to me. I've got closer with Atrin as these times. Like last time I saw him was at the Shock G thing we did in Oakland, and he's always showed me love online. Dusty, of course, you've always shown me love. Lonzo, I met you a couple times, but it's been quick. I think last time I saw you might have been the Straight Outta Compton premiere. But okay. Either way, appreciate all you guys immensely, even when Law was here. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
I will say this: I got a lot of stuff that Laylaw and I have been doing this last 5, 6, 7 years. That is all going to come out.
Okay. And
obviously, he just passed, but his book will be coming. His audio book will be coming. We have cartoons, animations that we made with certain situations where, like how we talk about Law's always in the back. We got an animation about at the Poetic Justice release party. That's the first time Snoop met Tupac, and it was from Laylaw. The only people that were there with Law was Pac and Stretch. And that's also the first time Snoop saw someone smoking a blunt. So we animated that. We got some animations of all N.W.A. on stage and talking with Law and messing around and shooting dice with DOC on stage and stuff like that. We got an animation of when N.W.A. was in Venice Beach with Fab Five Freddy and on the back of the truck rolling through, the city and stuff like that. So there is going to be a ton of stuff that him and I were working on and had been working on for years that is definitely going to come out. So, I'm definitely going to keep everyone involved. And, you guys were all his loved ones, you know what I mean? And so if I can be his, his voice and, between me, Gomac and Amp and, Mun, obviously, and the closest ones, his legacy will live on, and there will be updated and new stuff from Laylaw regardless of what's happening.
All right, much love, Dyer.
As it should.
Thank you for that, man. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yep. And I know all of us, we all gonna keep his name alive. You know what I mean? Like, Laylaw.
Keep it alive.
I'm gonna try something.
Thank you, guys. Hey, please, before we head out, everybody, if you haven't already, hit that like button. We thank you guys so much for joining the show. We hope you enjoyed this. It's been a great 2023 so far, and Lonzo and myself are just gonna keep bringing it. You calling somebody, Lonzo?
Yeah, I'm
Yellow.
Hello?
DJ Yellow. What's up, dog?
There it is. Let's keep it going, baby.
Man, I'm sitting on the line. I got it. We doing a little tribute show to Laylaw right quick. Unknowns in the studio. I got Adrian on the call. I got Money B on the call. My man Dusty. We just thought we'd tap you up, see what you got for us right quick, man. I know you got some Laylaw stories for us. I caught you off guard. I know.
Yeah, you did. I'm trying to remember. I mean, Dre brung him around first, when he made that Monster Jam, or I think that was
Monster Rap.
Monster Rap. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I knew he made. I didn't know anything else.
Okay.
Not at all.
She was always chasing somebody's daughter anyway, goddamn it. So,
probably so.
With a pocket.
Hey, Yellow, this is Adrian. How you doing, man?
Oh, pretty good.
Good, man. It's good to hear your voice. I'm doing good, man.
Hey, man, I got a question. I got a question since Yellow's on the phone, man. Me and Law used to bump into each other at Priority all the time. I don't. And when Tim Reed's son, Tim Reed Jr. was doing A&R up there, Laylaw had a group at Priority. Does anybody remember who the hell that group was?
I don't remember. He had a group there?
Yeah, he signed it. Do you remember?
No, man, you got me.
I don't think they came out with anything, did they?
I don't. I know you guys dealt with whoever the hell his name was, Brian, right? Brian all the time.
Right.
But, yeah. I would be putting compilations together that they were releasing on Priority with Tim Reed. But
you was doing them?
Yeah, that was me.
I never knew that.
See, but I was just wondering. But Laylaw was there all the time, and he had a group there. But I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah. God help me. I don't
know. I ain't never heard of the group. I mean,
no, he had signed it. I can't.
Was it a rap group or a singing group?
Say it again, bro.
Was it a rap group or a singing group?
I don't remember. Chris. You remember when you would walk outside the back of Priority and you were parking a lot behind
the parking lot,
right? This was. I think CNN had just moved to the top of the building, but we would always go eat. We see each other going out all the time. I just can't think of who the group was. Right? It might have been a singing group. Shit, because Law had his hand in everything.
They ain't never put nothing out.
I don't remember. It might have came. Like. I don't know. I thought that's why I asked the question. I was just curious.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
Another level. Who was another level?
It was another level with Gonzo and what's that?
Gonzo from Caution.
Caution. It was Caution.
Yeah.
See?
It was Caution. Gonzo, Caution.
I'll tell you, Doc, Easy Steve, boy, I got some bad folks.
See, I'm old and forgetful, but I knew I would.
It was Caution. Yep, because they was little cats. That was when Law, he had Ice Cube's old house up there. Was it Baldwin Hills or whatever the heck that was? And there was little dudes used to come around.
Okay. Yeah, that was a group right
Caution.
there, man. Woo.
That was dope.
Beast on the mic. R.I.P. Gonzo, man.
Right.
Yeah. What was that song?
It was damn. If you ride with
and
the
they use the same.
The red.
Yeah, they use the same thing we use for same song. Dum, 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 dum. And then we actually used to perform same song off of Caution's instrumental.
No shit. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear that. Would you ride with the red or would you ride with the ooh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip hop history. Much love, Yellow Boy. We just tapping in, Doc, showing some love.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc, for coming.
All right, Yellow. Hey man, Big Chuck want to know where are our sweatshirts? I don't know if y'all seen these new hoodies Yellow got, but
what hoodie?
What you mean? What hoodies? Oh, okay, that's where we going.
How you know I had hoodies in my trunk?
Hey, matter of fact, are you in LA right now?
I'm not gonna tell you my location.
Rainbow Yellow.
Yeah, change a bit. I can pull the business cards with girls' numbers on the back. Much love, Yellow Boy. We'll holler later.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Peace, Yellow.
All right. Peace, man.
All right, folks. There you go, folks. You man. You know, I hate doing these shows, but I'm glad I'm able to do them because I got to tell this story, folks. When buddy of mine, I went to kindergarten with, he died suddenly, and his brother left a business card in my door telling me he died and his funeral was the next day. First of all, I'm in shock. I had to drive from my house all the way to San Bernardino, wiping tears from my eyes. And they give you 2 minutes to tell a story about somebody you've been knowing for 40 years. And I understand, me and you talked about this earlier, I understand the time factor, but you can't just do that and give that person any real justice. I wish I could have gave Laylaw his flowers while he was here. We shared a lot of love back and forth, but I'm glad y'all able to come in today and share some love for Laylaw and show some love to the brother. He's a good dude. Ain't nobody got nothing bad to say about Laylaw. Laylaw's one of them dudes. I don't know. Nobody got a bad story about Laylaw. He gonna tell
and
100.
I just want to clear something up really quick because I just looked in the comments and everybody's talking about that Caution was Ice Cube's group, but Caution was Laylaw's group, and Laylaw ran them through Ice Cube's label, his imprint, Street Knowledge through Priority. But that was Laylaw's group.
Okay. See,
I never knew that. Something I learned tonight too.
Keep it 100. That's what I love about this. Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
Hey, I know.
About that.
Never knew that, homie. Thank you.
All right, folks.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm looking at it like that's ice cream thing.
Money, thank you.
This has been great.
No, thank you, your lying ass. Hold on there, Dusty. Money be much love. Adrian, thank you, Doc.
All right.
Peace, Adrian.
Man, once again, folks, we had another great show today. I want to thank you, Dusty, for helping out, help coordinate,
man,
co-hosting this show. Because no matter what, as much as I know, I don't know every damn thing. That's for damn show. And as y'all can see, everything we do is totally unrehearsed. That's why you get all the bloopers, the fuck ups, the mic checks, the static, everything else. Because I don't like editing. Okay, so I keep it 100. We are the ultimate reality show, folks. You're live with Dusty and Lonzo every Tuesday. Unknown in the background, laughing his ass off. And like I said earlier,
drizzle, drazzle, druzzle, drone. Time for this one to come home.
That's for Unknown's ass, y'all. In the meantime, much love to everybody in the chat room. Thank you for dropping the super chat.
Talk to you, see you next week, man.
We're out of here, y'all. Peace.